Hello and welcome dear students. Today we are going to begin with No Men Are Foreign by James Kirk. It is in the textbook Beehive prescribed by the CBSE for grade 9. Let us begin with the poem, an introduction. The title No Men Are Foreign means that the men belong to another country. The poet wants to say that all men are same, all men are equal. He wants to promote the concept of universal brotherhood in his poem. The poet wants to tell us that everyone in this world is same. All people, all men are same. They eat, live, die the same way. Everyone gets the bounties of nature like sunshine, land, etc. in equal measure. We can also say that it is a peace-loving poem. Now let us begin with the stanza. In the first stanza, we have the word remember. See, the word remember is repeated. Here you have to count how many times it is repeated, so it is repetition. Remember, no men are strange, no country is foreign. Beneath all uniforms, a single body breathes. Like ours, the land our brothers walk upon is earth like this, in which we all shall lie. Make a note of the word like, so, as, and like. These are all similes. And the word uniform has multiple meanings. It means uniform of the army or the people across the world. It also means universal uniform, that means the skin. Under the skin there is a single body, that means the soul, the universal soul lies or breathes. Beneath is under, strange is unknown. So let us see the understanding, the paraphrase of this stanza. In the first line, the poet says that no men are strange and no country is foreign. So he is attempting to remove the borders from the earth which have been erected to separate different countries. In which other poem can we see borders being constructed and nature doesn't like it? In another poems of Wordsworth, Mending Walls. That was of Robert Frost. Mending Walls. He also mentioned about walls being constructed by human beings, and nature doesn't love walls. In this poem of Kirk, we have seen that James Kirk, that we have seen that nature doesn't love walls, that means boundaries. And so he is attempting to remove the borders from the earth which have been erected to separate different countries. Then only no country will be foreign. We will feel every country as our own land. When there will be no borders, everyone will be free to move around. The poet wants to say that the entire earth is one and all the people live on the earth belong to one human race, that is the humankind. Then he says that inside the uniforms or under the uniforms worn by the soldiers of different countries, the human being is the same. That means the soul is universal. God has made all of us in a similar way. All breathe in the same way. It is that everyone has got two eyes, two ears, one nose, one mouth. No one has been given or awarded something extra in this name by nature or by God. Then he says that all the soldiers are our brothers. We all walk upon the same Mother Earth, and upon our death shall lie in the grave in the same earth. So he has established a universal idea and the truth about mankind. In the second stanza, we see that they too, aware of sun, air and water, are fed by peaceful harvests, by wars long winter starved. Their hands are ours, and in their lines we read a labor not different from our own. They refer to other people who belong to other countries. We call them foreigners and discriminate them and fight with them also. The poet says that nature has given all the bounties to all people also, just like he has given to us. Everyone gets sunlight, air and water in equal measure, which means that God does not differentiate between people from different countries. So when God and nature doesn't differentiate, why should men differentiate people? We all do farming. We all engage ourselves in farming during the time of peace. But when there is no war, we live in a relaxed life and eat the things given to us by nature. Further, he adds that the way we starve during wars and winter time is the same for those belonging to other countries. So he established another nature of mankind, that during winter and during wars, a person is starved, and that is felt by all human beings across or both the countries that engaged in fighting, even when they don't get food at that time. So he wants to say that foreigners who belong to another country and we both are same. So he is establishing the universal idea that the whom one might consider as foreigner, that person is also the same as the citizen of that country. And then the poet says that even their hands are same as ours. So he is establishing another similarity to establish a universal similarity. They work very hard just like we do. He is giving all these examples to convey to the reader that there is no difference among us and the people belonging to another country. So the universal idea of similarity of mankind has been established in this stanza. Moving on to the next stanza. Remember, they have eyes like ours that wake or sleep, and strength that can be won by love. In every land is common life that all can recognize and understand. The poet asks the reader to remember something. He says that we should keep in mind that the people of another country, whom we think to be our enemies, have been bestowed by God with similar appearance like us. We have established the idea that they have got eyes, they look similar to us, and no one has been awarded with anything extra for that nature. God has given them eyes like ours, which open when awake and close when we are asleep. Similarly, He has given them strength, which we can win with through love. Then He says that in every country, in every land, there is one common thing, that is life. So He's again established the universal idea and similarity that eyes are similar, eyes open, eyes close, and people can be won over by love, and they all are connected by life. Life means all the things that are living, and if we recognize them and if we can understand their feelings and realize that they are like us, then there will be no fights, no war between us, and no one will be considered a foreigner. In the fourth stanza, let us remember, whenever we are told to hate our brothers, it is ourselves that we shall dispose ourselves. They betray, condemn. Remember, when we take arms against each other. Disposes means dislodge or deprive, or to take away someone's right. The poet says that he should remember that whenever someone tells us to hate a person from another country, to think like him as our enemy, or whenever we think someone to be our enemy, then we deprive ourselves, we cheat ourselves, and we condemn ourselves. He says that we should stay away from such negativity. We should not consider anyone to be our enemy, and we should not be led by such leaders who have their own political agenda, who tell us that someone else is their enemy. We should avoid and we should not pay attention to such ideas. During a war, both the parties or both the countries suffer and they bear the losses, and that is why the poet says that war is not in our favor. He says that whenever we pick any weapon against someone, we should remember one thing, that whoever is on the other side, that person is also being blessed with life, and that one was the universal brother. In the next stanza, we see it is the human earth that we defile. That means we pollute, we make it dirty. Our hells of fire, dust outrage the innocence of air that is everywhere our own. Remember, no men are foreign and no country is strange. Defile means to make dirty, pollute. Outrage means the outrage of innocence is of violation of purity on earth. We should keep in mind that whenever we pick weapons against any person, we make the earth dirty, because weapons kill people and their bodies, which fall on the earth, make it dirty. And whenever war happens, it leads to a lot of bloodshed, fire and death. These dead bodies accumulate on the earth and make it impure. So one should not make the earth impure by hurting any other human being. The fire of war which erupts, the smoke which comes out, the dust which fills the air. It is so dirty that it pollutes and outrages the purity of the air. With all these things, the poet wants to give us a message that we should not indulge in war. Finally, he ends the poem by writing the first line in reverse and saying that, remember, no men are foreign and no countries strange. Now let us explore the literary devices used in the poem. You can always scroll it up and front and back, and then you can go and check the lines. The rhyme scheme, the entire poem is written in free verse or blank verse. That means there is no rhyme scheme. The literary devices used in this poem are alliteration. Alliteration means the repetition of the consonant sound in two or more closely placed words called alliteration. The instances of alliteration in the poem are body breathes, it begins with B sound and it is repeated. Waltz, winter, W sound is repeated. Then we come across metaphor. Metaphor is used to establish comparison, and with metaphor you should have a perfect understanding of simile first. Simile is the way we establish similarities using so, as, and like. Metaphor is a comparison established without using so, as, and like. It is actually considered as the noun which is being discussed and compared. Uniform refers to the military of different countries. So over here the word uniform means military. War's time is compared to the winter. So instead of saying winter, war's time has been mentioned, winter season. Repetition, it is used in the entire poem. The word remember word is used as many as 5 times in the poem. I've underlined it, please go back and check. Remember, no men are strange, no country is foreign is repeated in stanza 1 and stanza 5. When the entire line is repeated as it is called a refrain, but I want you to go and check whether it is repeated in the same manner or it has been reversed and explained. Enjambment is when within a stanza at the end there is no comma and no punctuation, and the lines continue till the next verse or the next verse until we come across a comma or a full stop. Running lines of poetry from one line to the next without using any kind of punctuation to indicate a stop. Instances of enjambment in the poem are as follows. I have written down the punctuation. Kindly check it carefully in your textbook also and then write the answers. Coming to the summary, the poem No Men Are Foreign begins and ends with the same line. Remember, no men are strange, no country is foreign, as the poet James Coop wants to emphasize on the fact that all the people living on the earth are the same, and that we have created distinctions by creating borders and fences and different languages, etc. While we are alive, we walk on the same earth. Upon our death, we will lie in our graves in the same earth. He draws another similarity that we all enjoy good food during peace and starve during war and in winter time. We all have similar hands which we use to do a lot of hard work. All of us have eyes which remain open when we are awake and closed when we are asleep. He reminds the reader that whenever we hate someone, we cheat and hate ourselves. Also, when we pick up weapons against someone, we pollute the earth and make it impure with the huge mounds of dead bodies strewn on it. Strewn means thrown across, scattered. Let us proceed to the question answers. Beneath the uniform, now what uniform do you think the poet is speaking about? I've already given 2 ideas. One is the army and one is the skin. How does the poet suggest that all people on the earth are the same? The poet suggests that all are same because they are same in the way they look, the eyes, the nose, and the way, and then under that skin and the eyes and nose, they have got the same soul. They walk on the earth. They live on the earth and they die. When they die, they go into the earth. And then during the peace, they all enjoy the bounties of nature. During war, they all suffer hunger and shortage of food. They have the same hands to work hard, and they have got the same eyes that opens and closes. In stanza 1, the 5 ways in which we are alike. Okay, we walk, we breathe, we have got eyes, we have got hands, we enjoy the bounties of nature, we starve when the supply has been stopped. How many common features can you find in stanza number 2? There are quite a few common features mentioned in stanza 2, that we enjoy the bounties of nature, we eat the food during peace, we starve during war or the winter season, and we have got hands therefore working. Whenever we are told to hate our brothers, when do we think this happens? It usually happens when some political person in the country tries to poison our minds, thinking that others are different, they are enemies, these people have got their own benefits and they want to enjoy their benefits. That is the reason they want to win our opinion. The poet says that we should not follow such political leaders who induce hatred in ourselves against our brothers. We hate and we belittle ourselves only, we do not hate others. But when we indulge in war, we pollute and we render the earth impure by laying dead bodies on it. Students who are new on the channel, kindly subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell so that you receive the notification when I upload my next video. And students are requested to click on like so that this video gets added up in their liked list and they can refer during test and examinations. Thank you very much for your precious time.